Follow the trend, tend to benefit while avoiding harm. Hello everyone, this is Mr. D. Today, I want to share with you the other situation of the three transmissions. Each heavenly stem and terrestrial branch have the attributes of the five elements, and they also have the attributes of yin or yang. These two tables record the yin or yang attribute of each heavenly stem and terrestrial branch. In the last video, I talked about the first situation of the three transmissions, the thief and obedience. Among the four combinations of the upper symbol and the lower symbol, if there is a combination of the lower symbol restricting the upper symbol, then we will regard the upper symbol in this lesson as the first transmission. If there is not a combination of the lower symbol that restricts the upper symbol, and there is a combination of the upper symbol restricting the lower symbol, then we will regard the upper symbol in this lesson as the first transmission. If there are two or more combinations of the upper symbol restricting the lower symbol, or two or more combinations of the lower symbol restricting the upper symbol, which one should we choose? We must first determine whether the attribute of the heavenly stem of the name of this day is yin or yang, and then choose the one with the same yin or yang attribute of the heavenly stem of the name of this day in the four lessons as the first transmission. For example, at 20 past 2 a.m. on August 14th, 2021, I want to predict something. After thinking about the problem, I arranged this formation according to time. Each of the four combinations of the four lessons has a restriction relationship. Wood restricts earth, earth restricts water, water restricts fire, and earth restricts water. The first thing we need to determine is, among these combinations, which combination is the upper symbol restricting the lower symbol, and which combination is the lower symbol restricting the upper symbol. These two combinations are the upper symbol restricting the lower symbol, and these two combinations are the lower symbol restricting the upper symbol. I showed you that in the last video, if there is a combination in the license, it is the lower symbol restricting the upper symbol. In the case of choosing the first transmission, we can ignore the combinations of the upper symbol restricting the lower symbol. In this course, there are two combinations of the lower symbol restricting the upper symbol. Which one should we choose as the first transmission? First, we need to determine whether the heavenly stem attribute of the name of this day is yin or yang. The name of this day is Jiawu Day, which is QG Day. We can see in this table that the attribute of Jia, which is Q, is yang. Then we need to determine whether the upper symbol attribute of these two combinations is yin or yang. We can see from this table that the Zi, which is A, has the attribute yang, and the Wei, which is H, has the attribute yin. Because the yin or yang attributes of A is the same as the heavenly stem of the name of this day, we use A as the first transmission. According to the rules introduced in my previous video, we can determine the second transmission and the third transmission in turn, according to what the first transmission is. Then write the celestials corresponding to these terrestrial branches here. Write the heavenly stems corresponding to these terrestrial branches in that xun here. Write the relationship of the six relatives between these terrestrial branches and the symbol representing me here. Let's look at another example. At 28 past 2 a.m. on August 18th, 2021, I want to predict something after thinking about the problem. Then I arranged this formation according to time. First, we look for the combinations of the four lessons to see if there is a combination that the lower symbol restricts the upper symbol. The answer is no, but in the four lessons, the three combinations are the upper symbols restrict the lower symbols. D restricts K, D restricts K, I restricts D. You must have noticed that these two combinations in different positions, one is in the second lesson and the other is in the third lesson, but the symbols they contain are the same, and the positions of the symbols inside the combination are the same too. This form has a special meaning, and I will introduce that in a future video. There are three combinations of restriction relationships. Which one should we choose as the first transmission? We need to check what the heavenly stem of the name of this day is. It is Yu. Then we look at whether the attribute of Yu is yin or yang. It is yang. Then we look at what the attributes of I and D are. The attribute of I is yang, and the attribute of D is yin. Because the attributes of I and Yu are both yang, we choose I as the first transmission of this course. According to the rules introduced in my previous video, we can determine the second transmission and the third transmission in turn according to what the first transmission is. Then write the celestial corresponding to these terrestrial branches here. Write the heavenly stems corresponding to these terrestrial branches in that Xun here. Write the relationship of the six relatives between these terrestrial branches and the symbol representing me here. When you predict something, the choose one, which indicates that you are or you will face several choices. Subscribe. Be your own prophet.